Welcome to VNews Podcast Daily, and following are the headlines.
Belarusian Prime Minister Mikhail Miasnykovich began official visit to Vietnam. The Communist Parties of Vietnam and China held the 7th theoretical workshop. The 10th dialogue on anti-corruption took place in Hanoi. Vietnam and Cambodia discuss ways to boost cross-border trade.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng and his Belarusian counterpart Mikhail Miasnykovich held talks in Hanoi on November 29th, following an official welcome for the latter.
Prime Minister Dũng said the visit is a significant boost to the traditional friendship between the two countries, bringing practical benefits for the two sides. For his part, Prime Minister Mikhail Miasnykovich stressed that Belarus considers developing the relations with Vietnam a top priority of the country's external policy. He expressed his wish to step up cooperation with Vietnam in many areas, saying Belarus has decided to grant full scholarships to 5% of Vietnamese students studying in Belarus and create conditions for the Vietnamese community to live and work in the country. The two prime ministers agreed to continue fostering relations in politics and foreign affairs and coordinate in the celebration of the 20th anniversary of Vietnam-Belarus diplomatic ties next year. They believe that two-way trade between Vietnam and Belarus will reach $1 billion in the next 5 years.
Also on November 29th, Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng hosted a reception for Belarusian Prime Minister Mikhail Miasnykovich.
Prime Minister Mikhail Miasnykovich informed his host of the results of meetings with Vietnamese leaders. He said Belarus attaches importance to developing the traditional friendship with Vietnam, saying Belarus will make every effort to further enhance the multifaceted relations with Vietnam, especially in economic trade, culture, science and technology, and soon raise two-way trade to $1 billion. The Belarusian Prime Minister pledged to create favorable conditions for Vietnamese businesses and citizens living and working in the country. For his part, General Secretary Chak said Vietnam always attaches importance to relations with traditional friends, including Belarus. He affirmed Vietnam's resolve to consolidate and further develop relations between the two countries.
The 7th theoretical workshop between the Communist Party of Vietnam and the Communist Party of China opened in the Chinese province of Jiangsu on November 28th.
The Vietnamese delegation to the workshop was led by Đinh Thế Huynh, Politburo member, chairman of the Theoretical Council and head of the Commission for Popularization and Education of the Party Central Committee. In his opening speech, Huynh introduced Ho Chi Minh thought as well as the standpoints, experience and achievements of the Communist Party of Vietnam in the public-related affairs. He stressed the extremely important position and role of the people, a factor that ensures the success of the revolutionary cause of Vietnam over historic stages. The official also pointed out shortcomings and great challenges facing the public-related affairs and put forward orientations and measures to overcome these shortcomings. For his part, Politburo member and head of the Publicity Department of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, Liu Wenshan, highlighted his party's lessons and experience in the public regarding work over the past 90 years. During the first day of the event, Vietnamese and Chinese theorists and scientists presented and exchanged views on 6 topics. The workshop will last until November the 30th.
The 10th dialogue on anti-corruption took place in Hanoi on November 29th. The dialogue focused on assessing the impact of the anti-corruption dialogues on anti-corruption work in Vietnam.
Addressing the event, Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc, who is also Deputy Head of the Central Steering Committee for Anti-Corruption, said the dialogues have brought positive impacts to lawmaking and management of the government. The Deputy Prime Minister stressed that Vietnam treasures the contributions, initiatives, and experience of development partners and the international community in the fight against corruption. Delegates applauded the achievements Vietnam has reached in completing institutions and policies on anti-corruption and the enforcement of laws in the recent past. However, many participants emphasized the need to increase transparency and step up inspections and supervision in the key fields.
The processes are now largely in place. Legislation is generally quite comprehensive. Now is the need for stronger action, and I think the Office of the Steering Committee on Anti-Corruption identify that need for action. So the reporting and the analysis has been very useful, and I think now there's a lot of work going on by OSCAC and by the Government Inspectorate to identify strong steps to make a breakthrough on corruption.
The Vietnamese Ministry of Industry and Trade and the Cambodian Ministry of Commerce co-hosted a conference on November 28th to seek ways to promote cross-border trade.
Reports delivered at the conference shows that two-way trade between Vietnam and Cambodia increased from $372 million in 2001 to almost $2 billion in 2010. The figure is expected to surpass $2 billion this year and reach $3 billion in 2015. Participants said that border trade activities between the two nations have seen many advantages, with expanded markets, simplified administrative procedures, improved infrastructure, and effective smuggling prevention. However, they stressed the need to build a cross-border trade legal framework between the two countries, improve transport infrastructure and border gates, develop payment, transport, post and telecom services, as well as strengthen coordination in smuggling prevention.
The Spanish government has pledged to have the Vietnamese tourism sector improve its capacity. An agreement to this effect was signed on November 29th by Deputy Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism Hồ Anh Tuấn and Spanish Ambassador Fernando Cusio Rigomez.
The project will have Vietnam carry out its tourism development strategy from 2011 to 2020 with a vision to 2030 in a sustainable manner. It also aims to raise the awareness of the role of tourism among tourism managers, diversify tourism products, and preserve cultural and natural identities of the country. In recent years, Spain has actively assisted Vietnam's tourism industry by funding development projects in various aspects. Statistics released by the Vietnam National Administration of Tourism indicates that the number of Spanish tourists to Vietnam has seen high growth in recent years. Vietnam welcomed 29,600 Spanish visitors in 2010, representing an increase of 40% over 2009.
A project to enhance the capacity for disaster prevention and adaptation for vulnerable communities in the Central Coastal region was launched in Da Nang City on November 29th.
The project is funded by the U.S. Agency for International Development with a sum of $710,000. It will be implemented in 24 communes of Quang Dien and Phú Lộc districts in Thừa Thiên Huế province and Thanh Khê district of Da Nang City. More than 200,000 vulnerable residents are expected to benefit from the project. The project will improve the preparedness of the targeted communities, enhancing the awareness and participation of local teachers and students, and upgrade early warning systems in the communities.
As many as 233 models representing 54 ethnic groups across the country joined a fashion show on November 28th at the Vietnam Cultural Tourism Village in Sơn town of Hanoi.
Featuring sets of daily and festival costumes, the show formed part of the first Ethnic Costumes Festival that began on November the 26th. The festival is designed to honor, preserve, and promote cultural values and the beauty of traditional costumes of 54 fraternal Vietnamese ethnic groups from 63 provinces and cities. The festive activity is also aimed at strengthening solidarity among the ethnic groups of the nation.
And that comes to the end of the news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.